All six The Expanse actors who also appeared in Star Trek. Few modern science fiction series feel as spiritually aligned as The Expanse and Star Trek. While their tones differ, Star Trek leans toward hopeful idealism and The Expanse embraces political realism and moral ambiguity. Both franchises explore humanity's future among the stars, the cost of expansion, and the tension between cooperation and conflict. It's no coincidence, then, that a handful of actors have traveled between these two universes, portraying very different visions of spacefaring civilization. For longtime sci-fi fans, spotting familiar faces from The Expanse in Star Trek episodes feels like discovering hidden wormholes between franchises. These actors didn't just cameo. Many brought with them thematic echoes of authority, rebellion, diplomacy, and survival that resonate across both worlds. Here are all six The Expanse actors who also appeared in Star Trek, and why their crossover roles feel especially fitting. 1. Shohreh Aghdashloo, The Expanse. Christian Avasarala, Star Trek Beyond. Commodore Paris. Shohreh Aghdashloo's unmistakable voice and commanding presence make her one of the most iconic performers in modern science fiction. In The Expanse, she played Christian Avasarala, the sharp-tongued, politically ruthless United Nations official whose profane eloquence and moral pragmatism made her a fan favorite. Avasarala embodied power exercised through intelligence rather than brute force, navigating Earth's fragile position in a hostile solar system. Years earlier, Aghdashloo appeared in Star Trek Beyond as Commodore Paris, a high-ranking Starfleet officer and mother of Captain Hikaru Sulu. While the role was comparatively small, it carried symbolic weight. Commodore Paris represented Starfleet's institutional authority and its continuity across generations, an interesting contrast to Avasarala's constant political maneuvering to preserve Earth's dominance. What connects both performances is Aghdashloo's ability to convey strength without needing action sequences. Whether delivering blistering insults in The Expanse or offering quiet reassurance in Star Trek, she projects gravitas. Her presence alone suggests history, competence, and a universe larger than the scene she's in, an invaluable quality in sprawling sci-fi franchises. 2. Jared Harris, The Expanse. Anderson Duss, Star Trek, Voyager. Captain John Harriman. Jared Harris is known for portraying deeply conflicted authority figures, and his role in The Expanse as Anderson Dawes is no exception. Dawes is a Belter revolutionary who believes wholeheartedly in his cause, even when it leads to morally questionable actions. Harris infused the character with empathy, menace, and tragic idealism, making Dawes one of the show's most compelling antagonists. Long before that, Harris appeared in Star Trek, Voyager, though his most notable Star Trek role is actually Captain John Harriman in Star Trek Generations. Harriman was a newly promoted Starfleet captain overwhelmed by responsibility during the Enterprise B's disastrous maiden voyage. The role showcased Harris's talent for portraying insecurity beneath formal authority. The contrast between Dawes and Harriman is striking. One is a hardened revolutionary shaped by systemic oppression. The other is a privileged officer struggling to live up to Starfleet ideals. Yet both characters reflect a central sci-fi question. What happens when leadership meets crisis before it's ready? Harris's performances in both franchises explore that tension with remarkable nuance. 3. David Strathairn, The Expanse. Claes Ashford, Star Trek. Multiple appearances, Federation-aligned roles. David Strathairn joined The Expanse in later seasons as Claes Ashford, a charismatic Belter pirate-turned-statesman whose moral compass evolved over time. Initially presented as an antagonist, Ashford gradually revealed depth, honor, and a tragic sense of responsibility. Strathairn's performance elevated Ashford into one of the show's most beloved late-series characters. Strathairn has appeared in Star Trek projects in various capacities, often portraying figures aligned with Federation ideals or moral authority. His calm delivery and reflective demeanor make him a natural fit for Star Trek's philosophical storytelling, where dialogue often carries more weight than spectacle. What unites Ashford and Strathairn's Star Trek roles is the theme of earned wisdom. Ashford is a man who has survived violence and learned restraint. Many Star Trek characters Strathairn embodies serve similar narrative purposes, guiding others through ethical gray areas. His casting in both franchises reinforces the idea that leadership shaped by experience, not ideology alone, is vital in spacefaring societies. 4. Bern Gorman, The Expanse. Adolphus Murtry, Star Trek, Enterprise. Zephram Cochrane, Mirror Universe. Bern Gorman excels at playing unsettling characters, and The Expanse made full use of that talent with Adolphus Murtry. As a corporate security chief on Ilis, Murtry represents unchecked capitalism and authoritarian violence. Gorman portrayed him as calm, intelligent, and utterly ruthless, a villain who believes himself completely justified. In Star Trek, Enterprise, Gorman appeared as Zephram Cochrane in the Mirror Universe, an intentionally twisted version of one of Star Trek's most revered historical figures. Instead of the hopeful pioneer who ushered humanity into interstellar peace, Gorman's Cochrane is paranoid, violent, and self-serving. The thematic overlap here is almost too perfect. Both Murtry and Mirror Cochrane are cautionary tales about power without ethics. Gorman's performances underline how thin the line can be between progress and exploitation, a recurring concern in both The Expanse and Star Trek, despite their tonal differences. 5. Francois Chow, The Expanse. Jules Pierre Mao, Star Trek. Multiple series appearances. Francois Chow brought chilling restraint to The Expanse as Jules Pierre Mao, the corporate magnate whose secret experiments helped unleash the protomolecules' horrors. Mao isn't loud or theatrical. His menace lies in his calm certainty that his actions are justified for the greater good. Chow is no stranger to Star Trek, having appeared across different series in various authoritative or intellectual roles. His performances often place him within bureaucratic or scientific structures, exactly the environments where Star Trek loves to explore ethical dilemmas. Mao's philosophy mirrors some of Star Trek's darkest storylines, where scientific advancement outpaces moral responsibility. Chow's crossover roles highlight how both franchises grapple with the same fear, that humanity's greatest threat isn't alien invasion, but its own ambition. 6. Kajan Var, The Expanse. Alex Kamel, Star Trek. Background and supporting roles. Kajan Var portrayed Alex Kamel, the Rocinante's pilot and emotional heart of The Expanse for much of its run. Alex embodied nostalgia, loyalty, and the quiet sadness of people who leave home for the stars and never fully return. His love of flight and storytelling made him one of the show's most human characters. Before The Expanse, Anvar appeared in Star Trek in supporting and background roles, contributing to the franchise's vast tapestry of alien worlds and Starfleet personnel. While these roles were smaller, they laid the groundwork for his later prominence in sci-fi television. Alex Kamel feels like a character who could exist comfortably within Star Trek's universe, a gifted pilot wrestling with personal sacrifice in the name of exploration. Anvar's presence in both franchises underscores how shared archetypes connect sci-fi storytelling across decades. Why The Expanse and Star Trek share so much DNA. The overlap between The Expanse and Star Trek actors isn't accidental. Both franchises demand performers who can sell complex ideas through dialogue, convey authority without exposition, and make abstract political conflicts feel personal. While Star Trek often imagines a future where humanity has solved many of its problems, The Expanse asks what happens when it hasn't. Actors who move between these worlds bring a shared language of sci-fi performance,